hear cyber attack, we usually think big companies being targeted by hackers, but in reality, individuals like you and me can also be vulnerable. And to tell you how you can protect your information online is Mike Tibbets from Wyred Insights. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Nina. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, tell us about how first, we were mentioning Texas, so this ransomware attack before the break. What is this ransomware attack?
Well, what ransomware pretty much does is it comes into the system and it will encrypt all of your files. So then what the hacker does is then request a ransom to get this data back. Typically they request it in Bitcoin because it's untraceable. And that way, if you want your data back, you have to pay that ransom.
But we're not just talking about big companies here. It happened in Texas and small towns there. It can also happen to people like you and me.
Of course, yeah. Home users especially, they can get hit with this stuff. The biggest thing is most people just wipe out their computer. They end up losing all of their data because they don't properly protect themselves from it.
And nowadays, you have everything, most of your important information, paperwork, in your computer. So what can you do to protect your information?
Well, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a good, strong antivirus program that also has malware detection. Keep your operating system security updates. Keep all of that up to date. And those would be the first steps. And also, when you are surfing the web, don't hit any of those pop-up windows that come up.
Yeah, there are a lot of those nowadays,
Yes.
ads especially. But we're talking about antivirus, and my question is, there are a lot of free antivirus out there. So is there any difference in terms of protection for the paid and the free ones?
Usually the paid ones will give you advanced like firewall protections, VPN protections that also come with a little bit more overhead to the system. You've got your common Norton, McAfee, and then you have your free ones like Avast. But at its core, anything is better than nothing.
And we've also had data breaches here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And which companies have we seen those?
There have been a handful of different companies. You got some major players. You got a few hotels that may have been able to stop a few of them. You have people like financial environments, CPAs, individuals like that.
And just wrapping up, is there anything that these hackers are specifically looking for their targets?
Anybody that would cause a disruption to their business or have a financial impact, because they're more likely to get the ransom from those individuals.
All right. Is there anything that people should do aside from the ones that you mentioned?
I would say also make sure to have a good, strong backup of your data, because if you were hit by that, then you would need to be able to restore your data versus paying the ransom.
Yeah, and like we said, nowadays you have everything on your computer, your important files, and you don't want all of that to just go, well, you get lost and you don't have any way to retrieve that.
Right.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. And those are very, very important information. Well, coming up after